Welcome to Notebook, a program of interest to the St. Lucie County community that features information about St. Lucie County schools. Guests include school district and community leaders with focus on children in our community.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Notebook. This is a show where we connect you, our viewers, with community officials, school district personnel, and other organizations from around the Treasure Coast. And today we have a special guest with us who is no stranger to our community. And today with us is Judi Miller, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Big Brothers Big Sisters of St. Lucie, Indian River, and Okeechobee Counties.
Isn't that the longest name you ever heard?
It really is. But Judi's going to be sharing with us the various programs that really come together with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I know that's a title that many of us are familiar with, but may not know all the components that are really linked to Big Brothers and Big Sisters. So we're going to give you a chance to find out a little bit more about all the different programs that are encompassed under that big, very big umbrella, and also find out about a big event that's coming up here very soon that we're anxious to have her share about, the Taste of St. Lucie, and you're going to be sharing that with us here very shortly. But before we go any further into the show, I always like to have the guests share a little bit about themselves and maybe just share your professional journey, kind of how long you've been in the position that you've been in, maybe your journey and direction of how you got there, and kind of tell us a little bit about you.
Well, Jane, thank you so much for asking me to be here
It's
today.
A pleasure.
I really appreciate it. I started this journey as a teacher, and my husband and I moved to Fort Pierce in 1973, and I worked for a learning disabilities clinic for a while, and then actually ended up running for election on the school board, and that was back in 1986. And I served on the school board for 24 years, long time.
It was a long time.
And just a few years into my first term on school board, I found out about Big Brothers Big Sisters, and it seemed like such a wonderful cause to me to be able to be associated with. And so I've actually been with Big Brothers Big Sisters almost a quarter of a century at this point as well. I'm getting really old when I think about it. But you know, my passion for this program and for education really comes from the fact that as a child I was a very poor reader. In fact, I didn't read till 8th grade.
Wow.
And so, you know, I remember the struggles, and just personally have always wanted to do everything I could educationally for kids and socially, emotionally for kids to help them be as successful as they can be academically and personally.
And you certainly have done that. It's amazing all the things you've accomplished in a short amount of time. And I didn't realize that you had started off as a teacher. And and here in St. Lucie County, did you teach here at all?
No, in Kansas.
In Kansas? How about that? Yeah, I had no idea that that's where you were from.
Yeah.
How about that? And then taught there for
just a couple of years.
Really?
Just a couple of years. My husband took a training program with Ross Pro in California shortly after we got married, so my teaching career was short-lived there. Yeah. But I had come from Chicago, moved to Kansas, and now we're here in Fort Pierce for the rest of, for many, many, many years.
Yeah. Well, I know your job and it really, for you, it's not a job because it's so obvious whenever anyone talks to you that it's something that you love and you're very passionate about. It really is. And many people, when they hear Big Brothers and Big Sisters, just think of having a big brother or big sister and may not know a lot of the programs that really have been so effective in not just our county, but nationally, and I know you work directly with Indian River and with Okeechobee as well. You are a very busy lady, as always. But tell us a little bit more about some of the programs that are under that umbrella of Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and then we'll talk maybe just a little bit more about how people can be a big brother and big
Sure.
sister.
That
But
would
share
be
with us
great.
a little bit about that.
Well, of course, most people are familiar with the basic concept of the one-to-one mentoring we've done for 100+ years nationally, the community-based mentoring program, where an approved volunteer is matched with a child, and they go out in the community and do things that they mutually enjoy doing, and it helps the child, usually from a single-parent family, to have a male role model or a female role model,
Right.
if the case may be, and learn new skills and just have another listening ear and a second caring adult in that child's life. That's the program most people are familiar
Right.
with. But early on, back in 1998, we were fortunate enough to receive an Office of Juvenile Justice grant that allowed us to start a school-based mentoring program. And again, because of my reading issues and my passion for helping children learn to read at an early age where it really counts the most, we were able to start a kindergarten through third grade reading mentor program in the schools. And we started very small with 3 or 4 schools. Yeah. Can't even remember how many back then. It was a long time ago. Yeah. But today in the 3-county area, we're in 32 schools and 4 child care centers in the 3 counties, 20 in St. Lucie County. And that program is serviced by volunteers, but it's also serviced by AmeriCorps members. We have a very large group of AmeriCorps members, and they still work one-on-one with the kids as a mentor, but instead of working with just one child, they work 25 hours a week, and they're with several children one-on-one in the K-3 reading mentor program, just like the volunteers may be working one-on-one with 1 or 2 children. And we really focus in that reading mentor program on 5 things: on comprehension, fluency, phonics, phonemic awareness, oral language, vocabulary. And those are, the very basics of the reading at that early age. Because we were finding so many kids struggling and not ready to go into kindergarten, it was suggested that maybe we look at starting our program earlier in VPK, in voluntary pre-K area. And we were lucky enough to get a grant through a foundation up in Indian River County to start the program. Started in one center, we're so successful we moved to another center and then a third center. And just this year we've been able to open a program here in St. Lucie County at Albee Queen Townsend Head Start Center. Right. So the program in Indian River is a partnership with Early Learning Coalition. Here it's a partnership with Albee, but we're able to take kids who are mostly coming from poverty, who may not have had a lot of books in their home or been read to a lot up front, and we focus on oral language and vocabulary. We focus on phonological awareness and print knowledge to help kids get ready for kindergarten, along with the social emotional levels. We're also lucky enough to have funding to do an individual and family counselor, so that if a family is going through a crisis and can't get mental health because of a waiting list or a lack of affordability, we have somebody right away who can help over and above our case manager and our mentor. And that's usually short term, 6 months or less. But that's a wonderful, wonderful service that we can provide as well. So, we do school-based, community-based, and site-based mentoring.
Which is a fabulous, fabulous program. Now, I know you're always in need of volunteers, and and if someone was interested in becoming a volunteer, how would they go about doing that?
Well, it's really as simple. Here in St. Lucie County is a call to 466-8535, extension 216.
That was very easy.
Let me say that one more time. It's 466-8535, extension 216. That will take you to Jeannie, who's our intake counselor. And she takes a potential volunteer through the process, and that includes background screening.
I was just going to ask you about that.
In today's times, that's very critical, and it's multi-layered background screening, including fingerprinting and local and national background checks. It's an interview, pretty comprehensive interview, and then references and an assessment of strengths and what kind of child a volunteer might be best matched with. Right. And from there we go ahead and based on preferences, whether it's school or community or site-based mentoring, we match that incoming volunteer with a case manager who stays with them from then on, really, and helps provide ongoing support and supervision, as well as the upfront training that they get before they actually begin mentoring.
Right. So there's really a lot of background, foundational for them to build their skills before they go in there. So they don't necessarily have to have an education background to go back and be
you don't have to be a teacher.
School right.
You just have to have a heart for kids and a love for reading. And I have to give you a plug right here, because you and your department just finished giving us some wonderful training materials that we've added to our bag of tricks to help volunteers, you know, and all of that makes a volunteer going into a school much more confident and ready to go.
Right. Because that can be a little intimidating going, you know, especially for someone who doesn't have, you know, teaching experience, you know, or, you know, school experience. But as long as you've got a heart for the kids and you have just a basic idea of, you know, where to begin with, you know, those comprehension skills and those foundational skills that you talked about. It's easy, and the kids just love you being there.
Oh, you know, it's funny. Our kids are young, so many of them, and many of they're all struggling readers, and they're all referred by their parents in the school-based program. They don't. Most of them know how to tell time, but it's amazing. They know when their mentor is going to come.
It's supposed to be there.
They have a great sense of, and you know, the lovely thing is that the kids in the class really want the mentors too. But there's a waiting list of over 300 kids on our waiting list. And, you know, so we're always looking for wonderful people. And you know, the need is so great. You know, certainly the academic need is great, but the personal support is great too. I heard from a case manager just recently that she was interviewing a child, and we do that as well. You know, like we interview the volunteers, we also interview the kids, so we can do a good match based on personality and skills and relative areas of need. Well, this little girl, part of our interview is with a child is to say, what's your favorite thing about you? What do you like best about you? And the little girl looked at the person who was interviewing her from Big Brothers Big Sisters and stared a long time, and then said, nothing. I don't like anything.
Oh, my goodness.
And you think about that. That was a first grader. I mean, way too young to feel that way.
Right.
But struggling in school already. And what a mentor can provide, in addition to all the academics, is that personal support. It's that mirror. You know, the child that I was just saying looked in the mirror, and she had a very negative perception of herself. But a mentor, on the other hand, can show a different reflection. You know, it's amazing how many kids say, you mean you come and you're here with me just because you want to be?
Yeah.
And you come every week? Well, you know, in today's world, as busy as things are, kids, it's hard to get that one-on-one attention and time, and mentors are so special for doing that.
And it's so clear in research over and over again just how valuable that relationship building is. And I know when I go and talk with teachers, you know, that are maybe struggling with class management or, you know, different aspects, it's always going back to building those relationships with the kids. And when you've got that, you know, how many miles, I mean, just the strides that you can help a child accomplish, and just knowing them and being able to connect with them and connecting with their needs. And that's what the mentors are able to do just on that little bit of time that they have with them.
You know what's funny? You think so much of the time a child who's struggled really doesn't want to read.
Right.
And so, they'll avoid it at all costs. But if they get close to a person and they begin to trust that person, while they may not decide they're going to try for themselves, they'll try for that mentor until they're able to try for themselves. And that's the ultimate goal.
There you go.
It's such a wonderful thing to watch. I showed you a picture of a little girl from Northport that just had the biggest smile on her face. She got her first student of the month, and she's matched with one of our AmeriCorps members at Northport. And she had the biggest smile on her face, and she was sitting next to her mom, who had a wonderful smile on her face. First time she'd ever gotten Student of the Month. And the mom credits the school, she credits her AmeriCorps member, she credits her little girl for trying so hard, and she brought them all cupcakes. So that was a wonderful celebration. But, you see it in the faces. You see the mission of our program in the faces of the kids.
And it's so great that St. Lucie County Schools has been able to partnership so closely with Big Brothers Big Sisters to make that happen. And I know when I was reading, preparing for today, looking at the various information online and seeing there's over 1,800 students that are being mentored right now, and boy, what a difference!
1,846.
Oh, exactly.
in 2015,
How about that?
And that is including our AmeriCorps matches.
Right.
And but that's a lot of and our family support services. But that's a lot of kids who are served every year in the 3-county area.
Oh, it's amazing.
And it makes a huge difference.
And I know a huge part of what your job is the fundraising.
Oh, yes.
And that we know this program can't continue without the support of the community and those fundraising pieces and grants as well. And I know one of the fundraisers that I always love that is under Judi was the Bowl for Kids' Sake.
For Kids' Sake.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we had more fun doing that, getting ready for it. And it was always kind of an argument on who got to be on the team from the school. So that was a big fundraiser that we always did in the fall.
Oh yes, that's always in September, and I have a big. Well, it's not really a secret anymore because I announced it. But Mr. Wayne Gent has agreed to be our honorary chair for this coming year.
Really?
Yes, for 2016 Bowl for Kids' Sake. So we're really excited about that.
And it's such a great event, and teachers are always so eager to be a part of it.
And to see the support that comes out from the
really
schools.
Is.
When you get 100% of the schools to come out, I don't know, my heart I can't thank everybody enough for that kind of support from the bottom of my heart.
And it's all about the kids. And that's one reason why I think it's just so loved and supported every year. And I'm looking forward to being a part of it. I didn't get a chance to do it this past year, but this coming year will be, I think, maybe my 5th or 6th year that I've got to be a part of it. So put my bowling shoes on and be ready to go. But knowing that is such a huge fundraiser, you also have another one coming up here very soon.
Yes.
And I want to have you share about the Taste of St. Lucie, which is coming up. So tell us a little bit about that. I know there's a lot of restaurants we can look forward to tasting a little bit of, but share with us about that.
Yes, so for many years now, we've had an event called Taste of St. Lucie, and it's a great event because you'll see everybody there in the community. People just come out and support it. We'll have around 1,500 people that will be there in the evening. It's down in Veterans Park. Right by the Fort Pierce Community Center. And even though there's construction going on there now, we will be there. And we'll have music and a DJ, and a band and a DJ, and we'll have restaurants, probably over 40 restaurants there to come and taste. And for the price of a ticket, it's $40 person, or if you buy two tickets, it's $70, so just $35. So go find
There
a
you
partner.
go. There you go.
and come out.
Yeah.
Cheaper by the cheaper by the dozen.
Yeah.
But it's such a fun event, and it celebrates the restaurants that come back year after year after year, and we're so grateful to have them come out and support us, and it's just fun. You know, who doesn't like to eat?
Right.
And they're the samples of the most delectable things that you'll get from booth to booth. And it starts at 5:30 and goes till 8. So, you know, it just, Lexus is Treasure Coast Lexus, and Lexus West Palm are our supporters. And they have been incredible supporters since the very beginning of this. Well, I shouldn't say since the very beginning of this event, but probably at least 4 or 5 years now. So we're so grateful to them for all they do, and the many other supporters that we have that you know, just really believe in our mission.
Right. And how would someone go about getting tickets
for
that?
You can call our office, 466-8535.
We'll have that memorized.
Extension 207.
207. Right.
Or you can go online to www.bbbsbigs.org. It's like Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Okay.
bbbsbigs.org. And you can purchase them online.
Okay. And is it possible to get them at the door, or they really need to get those ahead of time?
No, you can purchase them at the door. It's just a little more difficult because of the lines.
Right.
So if you go ahead and do it ahead of time, that's a great thing. Right. We're so grateful for the fundraisers we have, but you know, United Way in all counties, Children's Services Council in all counties support us. We have a great deal of foundation support here in St. Lucie and in Indian River County, and you know, and businesses, corporations who help us in incredible ways, and you know, without that varied support, and then individuals as well. We have a lot of state funding, federal pass-through grant for AmeriCorps to state, and a lot of local grant funding. So without all of that together, we just wouldn't be able to do what we have to do. And while a lot of our work is done by volunteers, we have professional support staff who train and interview and you know, supervise and support those volunteers, as well as the AmeriCorps members and the other folks that are involved in our program.
Right. And that brochure that you showed me, that this new brochure, it was so neat to see in the back all the different organizations that community partners with you, and so refreshing and very excited. Also, we had chatted just to see St. Lucie County Public Schools on there.
Yes, they're definitely on our list.
And yeah, it's just, this is a wonderful brochure too. And can people actually if they go online, would they be able to see?
I believe it's up there at this point, and it's filled with impact stories, and you know, it even does have information about how we spend our dollars and that kind of thing. But you know, maybe I'd have time to share a quick story about one of our kids that's in there. Maybe even two, if I'm really fast. But one of our mentors has been with us a long time. His name is Andy, and he's matched with a young man named Travis. And Andy has done so much for Travis over the years. Travis started out with grades that, you know, were not great. And he was going through some struggles in a single-parent family home with a mom who loved him dearly, but, you know, it was just a tough situation. And struggling to make ends meet, and over the years that he's been matched with Andy, Andy has now secured a 4-year scholarship to Indian River State College.
Wow.
And, you know, he is going to graduate the end of this year, and Andy has said he's going to be taking on his younger brother next.
Oh, wow.
And then the other story that I'd love to share is about Vern Melvin, who was the former DCF head here in this community and also headed up DJJ. He was matched with a young man that, again, many struggles. And in the brochure that I handed you, the report I handed you, he says he doesn't know where he ever would be today without Vern. And Vern went through many ups and downs with this young man who he stuck with the whole time. And he dropped out of school at one point. He went back and got his GED. He ended up going to IRSC, getting his AA degree. He enrolled at University of Florida, graduated from University of Florida, and now he's a counselor with Boys Town.
Wow.
And, you know, I think one of the best things in the world is to see a child who could have really gone a very different direction, now using his own experience to help other kids.
Boy, and that makes it worth it all, doesn't it?
Amen.
Oh, success stories like that.
It's just so wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I saw a quote the other day that said, you know, working with one child may not change the world, but it sure changes the world for that one child.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a firm believer with Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Right. And it just takes one to make a difference, you know, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So we are just about out of time, and I just want to thank you so much for coming and spending this time with us and sharing about
I loved it.
all
I
the
always
great,
love talking with you.
I love it. And just hearing all the great things that are being accomplished, and thank you for all you do for this community, because you just make a difference.
We've got a wonderful team of people.
You have a great team.
Yes.
But but they have a great leader, and you know, without a great leader, things can't be accomplished. And we just thank you so much for all that you do, and will continue to do for years to come. And look forward to hearing more about the successes of the kids, and you know, seeing the growth in them, not just academically, but as young people, and you know, growing up to be fabulous, you know, contributors to the community.
That's
and,
for
you
sure.
know, just like he's going to be. And we want to remind everyone, let me say that date one more time, and then I'm going to have Judi give the phone number one more time. But don't forget, it is April 13th.
Yes.
5:30 to 8 o'clock at the Veterans Memorial Park in Fort Pierce. You do not want to miss the Taste of St. Lucie and all this fabulous food that you're going to get to test. But the biggest thing that you want to remember, besides it just being a great event, is what a difference you're going to make in a child's life by being a part of this event. So say the phone number one more time where they can get tickets.
It's 466-8535, and not just tickets, but you can sign up to be a volunteer mentor.
There you go. There you go. And we always need volunteers. So if you have a heart for kids, come and get online, make those contacts to be a volunteer for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. And we'll look forward to seeing you back next time on Notebook. And thank you again, Judi, for being with us.
Thank you.
Have a great day.